Hey everyone, what's up? In this video, we are going to be looking at some of the new set design stuff that I've been building. So once you get your hands on Cinna Designer and you start to play with it, you understand that the cameras and the lights, that's actually pretty easy. I've built it to be fairly intuitive. Once you get a day or two into the system, especially if you have a lot of familiarity with working on set in the real world, the cameras and the lights, they work more or less like they do in the real world. It's a little bit of tweaking the settings to find out what's going to work for you and your system and what speed you're looking for. You find quickly that the obstacle for Cinna Design is building sets quickly and efficiently, and of course finding realistic human models and models of cars and that sort of thing. So what I'm starting to build now is the second plugin from Cinematography Database is going to be concentrating on building sets quickly. Rapid prototype building sets. Now, if you followed the tutorials, you can build them from scratch. That's completely fine. But the idea of Cinna Design, so you guys know moving forward, is to be able to operate a Cinna Design system, which is what I'm just going to call it. I know it's Cinema 4D, but I'm going to call it a Cinna Design system live in front of people at a meeting, at an agency with the director, if you guys are looking over a script or a treatment, on set to quickly troubleshoot problems. This is stuff that I want you to be able to do like instantly, really quickly. They'd like, make that wall bigger. Let me see a techno crane move. What if we put a big backlight, put a soft light over there? What if that soft light's blue? That stuff, I want you to be able to do it as quickly as I'm saying it. It's like, like really fast. So the point of this is that I'm building a separate plugin that the R1 users are going to get to beta test and have the early versions of, but the whole purpose of this plugin is to build sets extremely quickly. So let me bring in some of the first assets in this attempt to build this new plugin. I'm just going to bring them in. They are not going to be with Cinna Designer, though I have them in the Cinna Designer folder here, you'll see. I'm for now putting them in Riggs Furniture, but you'll, like I said, eventually these do not come with Cinna Designer. They are separate. So let's bring in this first rig. So this is a wall. And let's call this person 5 feet tall and just bring this person up for scale, because it's when you're building rooms, it's kind of hard to do it without scale. So here's our person. So a picture you in the plugin, we import this wall like you would import a camera. And what does this wall allow us to do? You'll see that down here in CD controls, which it probably won't be called that when it's actually released, you can control this wall. And what's different between this wall and say bringing in a cube, which you could do the same thing, the cube is centered. The cube is centered in the middle of it. So you have to bring it up, which is honestly just that alone is annoying. Now this has the handles to change the width, and that's cool, but I actually like to work a different way. And if you've used Cinna Designer and you're watching these videos, you'll see that this is how I like to work. So you grab the wall control down here, or you can grab it up there, and you have CD controls. And now we have the width, height, and thickness. So the width I can change here, and this is in centimeters. Eventually I'll implement in inches and feet, whatever, but centimeters is how I'm gonna work for now. Pretty easy to do the calculation. So what we can do here is I can change the height here, which is really important. You'll see why in a bit. So we have this wall, and then we have the thickness, which is the thickness of the wall. And this is the way I like to think of walls or flats. It's like, how wide is it, how tall is it, and then how deep is it? You typically don't have to change the thickness or the depth. So we have a wall object, and now we can click windows and doors, which is essentially going to bring up this essentially Boolean object that's in it. And you can actually select that object, but don't select the person, and it's already in there. So it's really quick to just, it comes with a window, you hold control, multiple windows, really easy. You're like, you know what, all of a sudden I want a door. Let's make a door. So this is really fast, and to have set that up by hand, it would have taken a second. And now again, you can grab this whole object and you can move it around like it's a big constructed flat. And if you know what, you're like, I don't want to see those right now, they go away. Pretty easy. Bring them back. You know what, I don't like this door anymore, delete it. I don't like this window. Don't delete the last one because you kind of need it to like move it around. But you can see how quickly it is to just rapid prototype rooms using this type of style. I guess I can't scale all of those at the same time, but I could go like this, move you there. It's very fast. So let's talk about building more of these now. We select this wall, and we're going to hold control, and now I have another one. And I don't like this now. I want this to actually be a door, or a door, kind of a weird door so far, like that. And this window, I guess, like this. Now let's build another one. So we're gonna go like that, and we're gonna rotate, like so. And let's just keep building a sample room out. So we kind of just line it up like this, and now its width. Now I would be renaming these if you can. The width, just shrink it in until it makes sense. Now this window doesn't make any sense. Actually, I'm gonna undo that. Hit 0. Delete that out. This I'll make just like another. Make it a window, I guess. Small windows. For some reason, there's small windows in this room. But you can see how kind of fluid this creative process is, and that's the idea, is to just quickly iterate through different, change the height of this somehow. Just quickly iterate through different room sizes, and now if I select all of these, I can now change the heights of all of them at once. See, which is going to be good. It's going to be helpful. And I could also turn off all the windows and doors at once too if I wanted to. So that's a look at the early phase of the CD wall system. Cinedesigner walls, or what, I don't know what the names of them yet. But you can see how quick that's going to be. And eventually what's going to happen is that when you're dragging these around, they will have actual glass in them. They'll have the window panes on them. There'll be crown molding on the floor, and those will be options you can turn off and on. So it'll always be this quick, but they'll just come pre-styled with nice stuff. So it'll be like, bam, fast. That's the idea. So let me show you one other thing I've been working on. I showed this in another video, but it is the CD table. And because right now I'm just calling it Cinedesigner table. This is the same thing. I'm just going to delete this wall so I can see better. Sorry for the text message. Just going to clear that. So this table came in a little bit high for him. But again, the whole point is that this stuff is quickly tweakable. Okay. And okay. Can just hit H. Cinema 4D viewport, that happens. So we can change the width here in centimeters. And it just auto keeps everything kind of in a normal way. Kind of shrink this stuff. So you can do it by eye, or you can enter dimensions. So if you're quickly on set, you need to be like, oh, we have a table that's this by this by this. As quickly as someone measures it or roughs it by eye, you're putting it in there. And then you can start to, I'm getting stuck again. You can just control, drag this, hit R, Shift, E, and right now it doesn't have any other options, but I could easily turn this into like a cabinet with these kind of controls. And say we want to just change it. Oh, that's the height. We just want to width it out like this. I just want to put that in there quickly. The idea is to build an entire set of assets that allows you to build a room this quickly and this flexibly, and to give them all these kind of like standardized style of control, so we can build things quickly. Now they're kind of like shelves. And I will try to keep them all textured for physical anyway. We're sticking with physical, even though I know we're all excited about Arnold and Octane and all that stuff, but we really got to stick to a standard just for the beginning. We'll play with that later. But this is a look at the beginning of the next plugin that I am actively working on. And again, the R1 users, you guys are gonna get all this just for fun to play with and to test. But the idea is to be able to rapid prototype a room or a studio in sub 1 minute. That's what I want. And you have to understand how it works. You have to practice it. But with this now, I can like see a room in real life. This one has curved ceilings, so I don't have that modeled in, but like a regular square room with some windows and doors, I can model that seconds using these rigs. Add some tables, boom, add some chairs, auto-populate a kitchen, so drop some plates in there, have cabinets and a refrigerator, just boom, 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 pop in there, delete the stuff you don't want. Fast, fast, fast. That's the whole goal of this, is to be incredibly fast. Because when it comes down to it, especially in the commercial world, it's like if you're doing commercial cinematography over and over and over again, like I've done for many years, it gets a little bit formulaic. It's like, oh, we're shooting a living room? Click living room. I know what a living room is going to look like roughly, especially if you're building it. It's like a couch, sliding glass windows, a media cabinet with a TV in it. How big is the TV? We'll just change, that stuff. We can just do that quickly. I'll be like, one button. Oh, living room? I guess pretty closely what you want. Then we'll change some colors. You're ready to go. Drop the Cinedesigner's cameras and lights into it. You've now rapid prototyped and prevised and done Cinedesign for a living room in minutes. And the render might take a little while, because rendering just takes a little while. That's not my fault. That's just rendering takes time. So that's a look at the up-and-coming new plugin that I'm working on for rapid prototyping rooms. This is the idea behind it. If you're in the R1 community, you're going to be trying these out for me. Let me know what you think about them. Included in this is going to also be some table lamps that actually light things floor lamps, sconce lights, just normal like house light stuff that isn't cinematography equipment. It's more set design than anything. It's more art direction. This plugin is going to be dedicated to that so that you can build a room with no 3D modeling experience needed. You're just moving some sliders and moving some things around like you would in the real world, like you were a real world production designer. This is going to make your life a lot easier and a lot faster. And this is going to be kind of like a sister plugin to Cinna Designer, but it will be a separate plugin, a separate purchase. And I 100% will be, if you've watched learncinnadesign.com, these videos, I have taught you, I think, enough that you could build this stuff yourself. So if you don't have the money and you don't want to do that, definitely build it yourself. That's going to work out perfectly. This is for the people that we don't have time. I'd rather spend money and do it quickly than take 20 minutes. If you had to build this by hand, this might take you like 20, 30 minutes, maybe longer with the tables, honestly. And then what happens is like you don't have a quick iterative way of being like the director says, oh, make that lower, a little bit higher, a little bit that. And then what if it's a little bit smaller? Like that, right? And then you're like, over here, you're like, well, those windows look insane. So let's delete that window. Let's make that window, let's make that window square. This is stuff that's really fast and what's going to be important. Eventually we'll have crown molding. I'll have auto ceilings, that sort of stuff. Build another window. It's all about workflow. So I want to develop a different plugin that's going to go very well with Cinna Designer that is for rapid prototyping normal rooms, living rooms, bedrooms, auto add beds, auto build a bathroom. So it just automatically looks at the seam. It's like, okay, here's a shower, a toilet, a sink, a cabinet, some mirrors. And then you just put them where they need to be roughly, boom, render, ready to go. We don't want to spend time modeling. That is a huge waste of time. And I'm building this plugin so that you do not have to 3D model rooms anymore and they're going to come out looking beautiful because this stuff can be automated. Programs like Revit, SketchUp, AutoCAD, that kind of stuff, Vectorworks, you can already do stuff like this. I'm building it for us in Cinema 4D and it's for cinematographers' point of view. Or if a production designer wants to get in on this system, I think it's going to be valuable for them as well to be able to work with DPs that are working with Cinna Designer, which I do think is going to be a pretty strong ecosystem in the professional space pretty soon. So that's a look at Room Builder. I don't have a name for it yet, but R1 people, let me know how you like it. People that are not in R1, well, this is coming out soon, so we'll check it out. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.